happens the same way every time. Hey Verlatti, you got a minute? And then a super random question pops up from what was it like growing up in the Bay Area to how did you get your first job at NASCAR? On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about a passion of mine, which are watches. My love of watches is a pretty common story where I was running around the schoolyard one day when I saw my first Swatch watch and immediately fell in love. I remember going home and telling my mom I wanted a Swatch watch with that really cool kind of face guard that was on it that stopped the face from getting scratched. She got me that watch and I rocked it for years and years. I did lose that watch, so I recently found this on eBay, which is kind of reminiscent of that same time. This Swatch Jelly is what I remember as kind of one of the first super cool Swatches to hit the streets when I was a young kid. So fast forward, I think it was 1999, I was getting ready to start my job at NASCAR, and a teammate of mine, Marty Moran, told me I needed a decent watch to go to work if I was going to be an office guy. I didn't know what decent meant, so I went immediately down to Target, and I think I spent $50 whole on an Armatron quartz watch, and I wore that Armatron for my entire time at NASCAR. Fast forward a little bit longer, and my girlfriend at the time, now wife, Kelly, bought me my first good watch. She bought me this Tag Heuer Link as a Christmas present, and it was a watch that turned into my daily driver for years and years after that. I've created many amazing memories wearing this watch, and to this day continues to be probably the favorite in my collection. So as I moved up in my corporate world and made more money and tried to buy more watches, I struggled trying to figure out how to learn about watches. But one of the guys that I saw in the office was always wearing really great stuff. He had a couple of vintage Rolexes. I think he had a AP. He had good stuff. And I turned to him and said, Evan, how do I learn more about watches? So he introduced me to what turns out to kind of be the holy grail for all watch enthusiasts, which is Whodinky. They've got a bunch of great channels. I think they publish this magazine on a quarterly basis, which I always enjoy, but they've got all kinds of other great resources. They do a weekly podcast called Whodinky Radio, where they're interviewing other watch enthusiasts. They're having their editors talk about what's going on in the watch community, and I learned a bunch from listening to those every single week. And then one of my favorite ways to take in Whodinky's content is by watching their YouTube series. So they've got a series called Talking Watches, where they're interviewing people in the watch community. One of their most famous episodes, probably their best episode they ever did, was also their first, and it was an interview with John Mayer, where you really see the amazing collection that John Mayer has and his love and passion for watches. I enjoy every one of the videos in that series, and I suggest that you check that out. Another resource that Evan taught me about that I continue to learn from today is Revolution Magazine. So the founder, Wei Ko, has a great Instagram channel. He's always posting amazing pictures of watches and people in the watch community. I learn a bunch from it. But something that I found interesting was in this kind of post-pandemic world where we're not meeting each other and seeing each other as frequently in person, Wei started a YouTube series called Zooming In, where he was interviewing people in the watch community, and he was doing that via Zoom. I thought it was really great. There wasn't a bunch of fancy production, but it didn't need it. He was interviewing amazing people and talking about their love and passion for watches. So I share this with you because I struggled trying to learn more about watches. I still struggle trying to learn more about watches as I search for my Grail watch. My Grail watch is a birth year is a 1978 two-tone Rolex nicknamed the Root Beer. So if you happen to have one or you happen to see one, let a brother know, because I am always on the search for that watch. But I'd love to learn more about where you are on your watch journey, or if there's a Grail watch that you would like for me to keep an eye out for. So once again, I post these videos on a weekly basis under the Hey Verlatti series, and look forward to talking to you again next week and hopefully wearing another new watch. Take care. This has been a production of Traction Media Labs, where we celebrate the hustlers, the grinders, the go-getters, the men and women that make this country great.